By police following claims that hospital staff were bullied into falsifying data about cancer patients. We'll get more on that because the hospital has admitted it is concerned by the findings. In a statement, its chief executive, Dr. Gordon Coots, has said, "We are truly sorry that in some cases cancer patients, their carers and families have not always received the high quality of care that they should have expected from our trust. We sincerely apologise to those who we have let down and for the worry, distress and concern that the publication of today's report is likely to raise." Let's talk to Iona Mears-Young, as a clinical negligence solicitor at the law firm Slater & Gordon. She's representing the family of one victim, a 4-year-old boy who died of cancer while being treated at the hospital. And very good to talk to you. You better tell us, first of all, about this specific case. It's Mackenzie Clackett.
Yes, I'm representing Michelle Clackett, Mackenzie's mother, to investigate whether there were any failings in the diagnosis and in the treatment of poor little Mackenzie. You may be aware Mackenzie very sadly passed away, aged 4 years, from a rare brain tumour, and the care that was given to him by Colchester was subject of an investigation, and they've already identified failings in that treatment. And what I'm involved in is in establishing whether, with appropriate treatment, Mackenzie could have been spared pain, could have had longer with his family, or indeed whether he had a fighting chance of a cure.
A lot of it hinges on the amount of time between diagnosis, referral, and then your consultation with a specialist.
That's absolutely right. And the important thing here is that Mackenzie and his family had a legitimate expectation that once diagnosed with cancer, that treatment would be given to him as quickly as possible. And in this case, that clearly didn't happen.
Well, how long did he have to wait?
Well, there was actually quite a catalogue of failings in Mackenzie's care. So, as well as missed appointments, there were failings to give him MRI scans, and there are various aspects of his care that fell short of what he could expect.
I see. So you're looking into all that. I mean, overall, the fact, and we've had this statement from the trust, the chief executive of the trust, the hospital accepts, and I know this is an individual case, but the hospital accepts that overall they have let patients, their carers and the families, they have let them down.
Yes.
And the police have been called in, which shows the degree of seriousness.
Yeah, I think that's certainly indicative of the failings that have been identified in the CQC report, which is the health watchdog. The reason in this particular hospital that the police have been called is because the report has found evidence that staff were being pressured into falsifying patient records to meet national standards. So that's obviously a very grave and serious finding.
And you would want to know in Mackenzie's case whether, I mean, something you've got to look at is whether any of that happened, whether there was any manipulation of the data about his treatment.
That's absolutely right, and that was something which was very key to Danielle, and something that we spoke about yesterday, that she's keen to know whether Mackenzie's case was actually subject of the CQC report. The report actually looked at a small sample of patients at Colchester. They treat some 6,000 patients a year, and the report actually only looked at a small sample of that. So it's unclear at this stage whether Mackenzie actually fell into the study or the sample that was looked into.
And Iona, it would seem from what you're saying that, and indeed that statement from the trust, that many other families may have a case.
Well, indeed, and certainly the reports suggest that the trust has contacted 30 patients and their family who have been identified as having received inappropriate treatment.
Okay, well, good to talk to you. That's Iona Mears-Young there, clinical negligence solicitor with Slater & Gordon. Now, the Dutch